Buenos dias and welcome back to another video, everybody. I hope you're staying safe, you're staying home and getting out only when you need the essentials. We're gonna get through this, but let's get on to this week's video. We are gonna talk about 10 terms, 10 photography terms that every beginner should know. So when I started out really taking photography a little bit more seriously, or taking photography more seriously in the past couple of years, terms came flying at me left and right and right and left, and I just was overwhelmed by all the information that there is to know about photography. It's good to know, and I'm not suggesting for a minute that we shouldn't continue to learn, but I think the main thing is to just grab your camera, go out, compose images, and have fun doing that before you get all bogged down in all the intricacies of all the terms and all the rules. It can just get overwhelming, so let's bring it back. Let's grab our cameras and go out and shoot. But these are 10 photography terms that I feel every beginner should know, but just know in a very simplistic way, so when you hear them, you can internalize them and have a general understanding of what people are talking about if you're learning or you're having a conversation with somebody, or etc, etc. Let's get into these terms. Numero uno, aperture. I've heard aperture, I've heard aperture, I've heard f-stop, another way to say aperture, but it is aperture, and simply put, it's the size of the opening of your lens. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Think of it as a curtain that lets light in. When the curtain is completely closed, there is no light. As you begin to open it, a little bit of light trickles in, and the more wide you go, the more light comes in. That is what aperture does. That is, simply put, the opening in a lens. Yes, we got it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Número dos, number two, depth of field. Simply put, it's how much of your image is in focus. More often than not, you have a certain amount of focus in an image, and the important parts are what you want in focus. That's all you need to really worry about. You'll learn more about the intricacies of depth of field, but to talk the talk, just know that the amount that is in focus on your image is the depth of field. Bingo! Photography is all about light and how much light comes in and how much light goes out. Number three is exposure. It's how light or how dark your image is. Simply put, no more to talk about, that's exposure. Number four, focal length. The simple definition, in millimeters, how much of an image you will see. It's called the angle of view. Let's not get all crazy, it's just how much you will see in an image. If I zoomed in, you would be not seeing that much of the background, you'd be focused in on my face. If I zoomed it back out, you would see a lot more of the image. And the wider in millimeters, meaning like 10 millimeters or 12 millimeters, you're gonna see a lot more peripheral view. All right, we're getting a little too technical. It's how much of an image you will see. Number five, hot shoe. It's the little slot on the top of your camera, mainly reserved for a flash, but can be utilized for a variety of other things, such as a microphone or a light. That's all you need to know. Mess with my head a lot because people talk about cold shoe. Let's not even go there. Hot shoe. It's the little slot, top of your camera. That's all we need to worry about. Next one up, number seven, was a kick in the pants for me. White balance. Simply put, it's how cool or how warm an image is. How blue or how yellow-orange an image is. Just keep it to that. Keep it as simple as that, so when you look at your image, you figure out how blue or how orange you want your image. How cool or how warm you want your image. It's all up to you. Number eight, noise, also known as grain. These are little flecks or spots that are on your image. Some people like it, some people don't. It's a matter of taste. Some people want really, really clear images, no noise. Some people want a little bit of noise, makes it a little bit more realistic. Just keep it really simple, keep it just like that. Noise, little spots. Number nine, shutter speed. The amount of time your shutter is open for a given setting. So your shutter might be open really quick, boom, boom, and not let that much light in, or your shutter might be open for a long period of time and then close. Just know that shutter speed is how long your shutter is open to light. And last but not least, Number 10, I made it a combo, zoom lens versus variable lens. A zoom lens simply is allowing you to see an object and everything around it very wide, or you bring it back in and you zoom in and you see much less around the subject because you're getting that much closer to it. That's a zoom, and that's variable, a lens that allows you to punch in and punch out and get a lot closer or further away from your subject. And a prime lens, also known as a fixed lens, means that you're set at one focal distance. That means if you're shooting 50 millimeters, you are stuck at that 50 millimeters. You can walk the camera closer physically and walk it back to get closer, but 50 millimeters will be the amount of angle of view that you will see. We're getting too much into the weeds there. It just means you're set at one focal distance, remember that. Versus a zoom lens that can zoom in and out on the subject from a fixed or stationary spot. All right, that's gonna do it. 10 photography terms that every beginner should know, but don't let it bog you down. Don't let it slow you down. Grab your camera, go out and shoot and learn as you go. Question for you, do you have any photography terms that you feel would be beneficial to a beginner photographer? Leave it down in the comments below. I'd love to chat with you about it. All right, that's gonna do it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Leave me a like if you liked any part of this video. Ring that bell to notify you of new videos, and that's gonna do it. I love you guys. Peace. Here's the funny thing. I just did a whole sequence and I never hit record. First one's a doozy. Aperture, aperture, aperture. Gosh, why'd you just finish it? Just waiting for the train to go by because the train's really loud. Angle of view. It's the angle of view. How much you, so how much, how cool or how warm an image is. You can do it. Oh my gosh. Ah. Oh, got a little carpal tunnel going on. Too much. Never.